Take a look at this photo caught in the aftermath of a bloody encounter, a fight that one woman described as a cage match with this unlikely opponent, a squirrel.
He's right there. Eating him. Ah!
Oh my goodness. You know what? It happened to me too, in my own backyard. In fact, it happened multiple times. All summer long, squirrels would come after me while I was sitting down outside minding my own business. They was getting stalked, and I thought it was just me. Then I realized it's happening all over the country, maybe to you too. So today, shocking squirrel attacks caught on tape. We're investigating why these common creatures have become more aggressive in the past couple of months. Like this squirrel caught with a knife in someone's backyard. I mean, is that pretty threatening? Look at that, guys. I mean, literally, the squirrel is sharpening the knife. There have been headlines of terrifying attacks of ravenous rodents popping up all over when you least expect it. One neighborhood in Queens, right here, right, in New York City, say they've been terrorized by a squad of squirrels.
He's right there. Eating him. Ah!
This is video taken by the Singh family of a squirrel gnawing on their mailbox and then trying to lunge at them.
They have been randomly attacking people. Attacking is anywhere from jumping onto them to scratching and biting aggressively.
As first reported by the Forest Hills Patch, the Singhs told me that since Thanksgiving, the residents of Rego Park, Queens, have had roughly 20 unprovoked run-ins with a few highly aggressive squirrels.
There's definitely something going on. I'm not sure what it is or why it's happening. My bet is that they're ill, that there's something that's gotten into them.
At least 2 residents had to seek medical attention. One included a trip to the emergency room for a vicious attack where a resident was bit 6 to 7 times.
Next thing I know, it's an MMA cage match and I'm losing.
Cage match you don't want to be in. Thanks to Jennifer Williams at Fox 5 New York for that report. Residents now estimate about 20 unprovoked squirrel incidents, and that number is growing day by day. One family caught a squirrel trying to lunge at them on tape. And joining us now are Vinti and her daughter, Annika, who actually took that video I just showed you. So, Vinti, you say your furniture has been chewed through. Your husband, who's an ex-Marine, God bless him, ex-Marines are always Marines, has been attacked twice. Describe how he was ambushed by those squirrels.
It was just a regular day. He parked his car and he was coming in, and he actually came into the house and he was shaken up, and he said that he was walking into the house and a squirrel tried to climb on him and it just started to gnaw and claw on him. He managed to fight it off, but it jumped onto a rocking chair that we have the picture that you saw and started to bite that aggressively. And when he told us about it, he said that I was attacked by a squirrel. We kind of laughed about it. We said, "You were what?" But he said, no. I feel like I've been in a real fight. You need to listen to what's happening. It happened again exactly a week later. And when that happened, in just about the same way, a neighbor came running up to him and said, "I saw what happened. It happened exactly that way to me." And we knew something is going on here.
So describe how these squirrels aren't like the cute little ones that we're all used to.
So usually squirrels frolic and play with each other, but these 2 squirrels were definitely more vicious than others, and it was almost as if they were in a boxing match, and they're kind of sidestepping around each other. And eventually one ran away after trying to stand its ground, and the other one came to our mailbox.
Let me bring in one of your neighbors. Micheline is here. And you're also attacked, Micheline. Yours is also caught on tape. Can you walk me through the place where it all went down and describe what you remember from this squirrel assault?
Sure. We were moving a bookcase out. So basically, I had walked to the door and I was going to hold it open for the movers, like this. I just opened the door, maybe a little bit better than that. And, we're right out here. And 2 or 3 seconds after I get outside, I feel something on my leg. I look down, and lo and behold, there is a squirrel. And I'm like, okay, hi, squirrel, what do you want? Now, I had heard about the attacks, so I thought, okay, I'll be calm. I won't do anything. But the next thing I know, I feel it up on my shoulder. I feel this pain on my arm, like right up here. And then I guess I reached out, and then it was an MMA cage match. And he just would not let go. He was vicious, and I couldn't get him off of me.
What was going through your mind while this squirrel keeps gnawing at you? Your finger, your neck, your shoulder?
I wanted him off. I was scared, I guess. I was concerned about what was going on, but I wanted him gone, and I was probably hurling expletives at him, but I could not get him to release me. He just was fighting me the entire time. I don't know why he stopped. Eventually, he went up into that tree over there and just stared for, a few minutes. I mean, he just, waiting for round two.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
guess the bell had rung, and I didn't hear it.
Well, you have a sense of humor over this. Meanwhile, the squirrel's in that tree behind you with a bit of your finger in his mouth. How is your finger doing now?
Well, the finger is still stiff, and it is cold to the touch. There's a scratch, there's a scarring, so it may have some nerve damage.
Oh, my goodness. Well, the good news is squirrels are not likely to pass on rabies, which is always a concern, but they can carry germs that can lead to typhus, ringworm, even the bubonic plague, believe it or not. Micheline, you went straight to urgent care. What did they tell you about your injuries and the risks of infection when you get there?
When we first went to urgent care, they took me right away. They started screaming active bleeder because I was bleeding so heavily. They cleaned me up, gave me a tetanus shot right away. Then there was really nothing more they could do, so they sent me to the hospital because it was an animal bite, and they weren't sure if I should need rabies. But given the amount of bites and the aggressiveness of the way the squirrel was acting, they decided that, yes, I should have a rabies vaccination.
Well, they gave you a vaccination.
Yes, I had the rabies shot. I had the whole series, 16 shots.
16 shots. Oh, my goodness. That's worse than the actual bite. So,
some of them had to be injected directly into the wound. So,
oh, my God. This is terrible. What do you think is provoking these squirrels to lash out so aggressively?
I don't know. People have told me, maybe there was a nest, but it's been over several streets in a fairly wide geographic area. People have suggested perhaps feeding him, and they've gotten comfortable. But no, this was an angry squirrel. I do TNR and trap feral cats. This was an angry animal. It wanted to do damage. So I think it was ill. I think it's sick, maybe distemper or some other disease, but I don't think it's healthy.
Yeah, distemper is an interesting thought. Vinti, you said that you and your neighbors have been living in fear. What precautions are you guys taking now?
We've had to overhaul our entire life. My kids don't go out to play in the backyard anymore. When we walk around, we either go with shovels or sticks. I carry my pepper spray. But we also started to trace back to what was actually going on here, because this is not normal. Little squirrels don't go around so aggressively attacking people. So we hired a trapper as a community, and we've been getting them tested for rabies, and we've been trying to trace back to exactly where this is coming from.
Well, thank you very much, Vinti. Annika, for your stories as well. Micheline, I'm glad your finger's getting better. Up next is not just squirrels. Other common rodents are on the attack, and they're also caught on tape. Plus, what should you do to avoid finding yourself face-to-face with an aggressive animal? We are back investigating shocking squirrel attacks caught on tape. What is causing these animals to lash out? Turns out other rodents have also been making their presence known. Hordes of vicious rats taking over streets in New Orleans and here in New York. And this TikTok caught a raccoon chasing a man into his home.
Holy raccoon. No, 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 no! Ah! Ah!
Let me bring in wildlife expert Dr. Ray Wingrant to help us uncover what's going on with these animal attacks all over the place. Ray, raccoons can be feisty, but I think a lot of people are shocked that a cute little squirrel could be so aggressive. What do you think is going on? Why are these animals acting out?
It really is shocking, and there's tons of explanations, and we have to get to the bottom of it. One reason might be that these animals are adjusting to the pandemic just like we are. So much is changing in our lives. So much is changing for them, including more or less people in certain neighborhoods and maybe even access to food.
You say hunger is an obvious driver of most human behavior and animal behavior as well, and it might drive these animals to go on the attack. They get very irritable. So could this get worse as the pandemic continues?
It really might. So many different types of human resources that animals might have gotten used to are changing. Just think about it. If there's a community where there was a person there every day that used to feed a raccoon or feed a squirrel, unbeknownst to anyone else, and that person has left because of the pandemic, these animals might be hungry and angry, which is why we always have to keep wild animals wild.
So you see, to protect ourselves from animal attacks, we need to reevaluate our homes. So what do you look for? Educate us.
Absolutely. If everyone right now can just peek outside of your window, look at your home, especially your backyard, and see what might be there that attracts animals. It could be anything from a decorative fruit tree, a bird feeder attracts way more than birds, even your barbecue or your grill pit. If you don't clean it up, it might actually smell really good to animals.
You know, you just touched on a few points that I can fault myself. When we have a barbecue outside, we have water outside, we've got pets, we've got a bird feeder. You know, I never even thought of these things as being lures for these squirrels and upsetting them. So if waste itself could also lure unwanted attention from pests like our trash, how do we animal-proof our home?
Absolutely. I think waste is a really great place to start. In general, we should check on our consumerism and our consumptive behaviors. Is there a way you can reduce your trash? Is there a way that you can put trash out only on garbage day so that these animals aren't creeping around looking for these yummy smells? Even things like scented trash bags to us seems like a great idea, but to animals can seem just like a yummy smell that they want to investigate. There's so many different ways that we can do better, especially when it comes to trash. If you live in an area where there are larger animals, like maybe bears, a lot of local areas will provide bear-proof garbage cans. But there's also raccoon-proof garbage cans and animal-proof cans. You can look into that to protect yourself and your family.
Right. Thank you very, very much. I think we got an extra opponent out there besides COVID, but perhaps caused by COVID.
Absolutely. Stay safe, everyone.